he got exhausted.
Here we go.
I know.
We're ready, and we're on, baby.
Wow, we are live. Act like we're live, okay? Because we're live. We're live, all right? You know, it's funny because you mentioned my husband. He was here at 6:45 this morning because he has to get his phone calls, which are 9 a.m. in New York, which makes you realize that the world revolves around Manhattan. Seriously, everything has to be at 9. And when you have an audition, like just a meeting on the phone, think about that. It's 6 a.m. You just want to go to the bathroom. All of a sudden, you have an urge to go to the bathroom. You're on the phone, and you have to be so happy and be like, you can't be like, rah, rah, rah. You have to be prepared. You have to gargle with freaking coconut oil. You have to take care of your voice so well. I lived through the 70s and the 80s, smoking cigarettes, you know, and not watching Captain Kangaroo, probably banging Captain Kangaroo. Who knows? I mean, I thought it was so cool to be in those boxes on stage, you know, in those clubs where I couldn't hear, like your ears itched inside. You can't, it means you're going deaf. It means you're going deaf. You realize that, right? When you're like, oh my God, it's itching. And it was so insane on Wall Street. They never show the truth of Wall Street. They really don't show the truth of Wall Street. Who plays the Jinx? What's his name? Durst.
Yeah.
Okay.
Durst.
I worked in an office at 67 Wall Street where he was. I didn't even know. I would have loved to have talked to him. Auchincloss with Jackie Onassis. I worked for him too. I worked at. I worked. I mean, it was Wall Street. If you stayed an hour over, they gave you dinner and a ride home from wherever you had dinner, which means we're going to Heartbreak on downtown Manhattan and getting home. It was crazy because we would leave and we would have to get to the diner by 4 or 5 to get home by 6 to New Jersey to come back to change your clothes to go back to work. Yeah. And I have people that work here that say to me, do I have to come in 2 days? 2. And you want to hear the prerequisite now? The prerequisite is, what's the prerequisite again? Because he helped me the other night because I didn't realize what it sounds like. I sound like a moron. I'm so stupid. How stupid am I? When people come for a job, I'm like, do you need a ride there? Do you need a ride? If someone says they can't read cursive, you can't hire them. Mm-hmm. Nobody's using cursive. Nobody's using cursive. I've heard people say the stupidest things. There's a girl in my building. I'm not going to say her real name. Let's just call her Elham because that means the pig. And she was telling me how nobody uses stamps anymore. But you use stamps when you send me a bill, right? You find stamps. And they look at me like I'm a Luddite. Like, who's using stamps? Today, I have an audition. And I'm stressing this thing like all friggin' day. Thank God that our producer as well as the director of the Film Actors Cafe was here, Aaron McIntyre. Give him a round of applause. Thank you so much, Aaron, for helping me today. He had to help me with an audition. As soon as this woman starts with me, the first thing she said, oh, you're going to have to come back because I'm not seeing anybody on the telephone. What are you going to do with half of America? So how cool is it? He's got his laptop, but it's supposed to be my name comes up. And she says, I don't know this. Aaron. And I said to myself, don't start any shit with him, okay? This is his laptop, and he'll close it. But I had to, it's just, to do auditions on a phone, on a computer with no feed, it's hard. And then I asked the unmentionable question, what was your name? And she said, Karen. I swear to you. And I just wanted to say to her, my best friends are Karens, and they are, and my cousin. Come on in, shake that ass, Johnny B. Give it for Johnny B. Who's supposed to be doing our, our camera thing, but he came in with 2 hot dogs, and they don't even sponsor us. Prepare yourselves for our showcase at the beautiful Ha Ha Comedy Club. It's in North Hollywood, home of the TV show Hacks. And I want to congratulate Jack Jr. By the way, the owner, I'm just going to throw out to you, the Lebanese owner is also from Paterson, New Jersey. Remember that? That's why he speaks Spanish. So I'm from Paterson, in case you didn't know. Like, you wouldn't even care. You even know where it is. Unless you watch The Sopranos. You know where it is, right?
Yeah, I'm from the East Coast.
Oh, where are you from?
Baltimore.
She's crazy as cat shit.
She's a Baltimore cockroach that'll never die.
Roaches in Baltimore, you could put a saddle on them and ride them. I screamed in a restaurant so loud. I'd never seen anything this close next to me in the restaurant. And the people were annoyed that I said something. And I'm thinking, Miss Jew, you know me, I'm not paying for this. Because now I've got agita. Because of this roach. And then this gentleman took me to his place with beautiful condominium. And this was in Georgetown. And he had roaches. And I had just left New Jersey where this guy took me on a date. And I thought he was going to pick me up in his Porsche. He picks me up in his Monarch. Not that I'm that kind of chick. But you have a Porsche. So why are you picking me up in this Mercury Monarch? Which would have been okay, but I was in the front seat. And a roach crawls across the dashboard, okay? So I jump in the back seat because I'm scared. I don't want the roach on me. I'm trapped. And it wasn't even a big one. It was just a regular one, right? So he takes me to a restaurant in West New York, New Jersey, which makes no sense to you people listening, but there's a place called West New York, New Jersey. And it's true, you know that. Next to Guttenberg. And that doesn't even sound good, Guttenberg. Right, I know. Anyway, and we're talking about La Tijera out here. But anyway, why did I bring that up? I can't remember because it's all Cuban. That's why. It's great. It's really Cuban. It's just like going to Miami. They're all Cuban and down Bergen. It's our Sunset Strip back in the day. And they get all dressed up and they drive their cars like the Persians up and down the strip. That's what the Persians do, get new cars, drive up and down the strip. When my kids turned 16, I'll never forget, all their friends had cars in the garages and didn't drive. I mean, these parents are smart. They're pushy. They're pushy. Now, I'm going to tell you something, people out here who are watching. A lot of you have contacted me because you don't have somebody that's going to help you with your self-taping. There's nobody that's helping you with your monologue, with your cold read, breaking down a script. When you live as long as we have, we've done enough auditions and have not received the roles that we know what we're doing. It's not like you see me every night on a late night show. I'm talking about acting-wise, but I've learned from my mistakes, and that's why you can find me on Law & Order. But the fact is, when you're a comedian, the first thing they think a comic is going to do is what? Change the words. Remember that the writer wrote those words. And there's going to be someone there. They're figuring something out there, and I'm stalling. I feel like I'm having a Kamala Harris moment. Can I tell you what Kamala Harris did today? Oh, my God. First of all, one more person calls me and tells me that I look so much like her one more time. Every time I look at her, I think of you when your hair was straight. That's why I'm voting for her. Kamala has her teeth. Mine are waiting with Dr. Roth, and I have to get them next week. I have implants.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, I did have teeth when I met you, right?
Yeah.
I did. And suddenly I had this chiseled thing going on.
Yeah, you left. Got a bad tooth.
Oh, Rosh Hashanah, first night, I had to go I had 2 root canals. And I came to it. You have C-section?
No.
They should call it a B-section. That shit looks like a bayonet wound. They be lying. They kept making me breathe. You know what got me so mad? You haven't met my husband yet, but you know what made me so mad is that I'm going into fucking labor, and I said to them during the, what's it called, the Lamaze classes?
Yes.
This was the only person in the Lamaze class like this. Is my husband. And I'm so embarrassed, and like there's a lot of like, I don't know why I'm upset about this, but it's like a lot of Asian women who had control of their Jewish men. Asian women are taking over Jews, man. Jap is a real thing. It's a real thing. White women are taking my shit now. They're taking my big lips, my big ass, now my white men. What's next? I'm still working on that. Last night I went to the Comedy Store. It was great. Monday I was great. I got to say I was great at the Comedy Store. My daughter came and saw me and said, finally you did something new. I said, you shouldn't say that. There are people here who have never seen me and think I'm incredible. I can do the same act with my eyes shut. My name is Sunda Kronquist. Sunday without the Y. Kronquist, don't drop the R. It makes you a racist. You become a Kronquist. That's to tell you that when you go into an audition and you have to be an actor and the actor has to come into play, you have to know how to turn it on. You have to know how to turn it off. Because they're expecting you as an actor, comedian, that you're going to be up here. One thing that's great about that, don't feel bad. It's easier to take them from up here, okay, and bring them down here. But it's more difficult the other way around. But I'm not the teacher that's going to tell you that. And so I'm really blessed to have here tonight. Not only is he a comedian, but he's also the director of our new part of LA School of Comedy, the Film Actors Cafe. I present to you the one and only Aaron McIntyre. Let him hear you.
Hey, everybody. I'll two of you. How you doing? They're everywhere. Well, we got four. I was thinking, since I'm going to be starting some acting classes here in December. Actually, I'm going to have my first open house on December 8th. That's a Sunday. We're going to do classes for young adults from 4:30 to 6:30, just a couple of hours, give them an idea of the school. And then from 7 to 10, we're going to have the adults come in. So I figured that the best thing for me to do would just be to introduce myself and give you a little resume. And I'll try to make it as funny as I can. But we'll see how that works. So it all began when I was 3. I was 3 years old. I had a crazy brother-in-law. He was an artist, and he came to our house, and he had me listen to Amal and the Night Visitors. It's a beautiful little opera that nobody knows about. There's my favorite song is, "This is my box, this is my box." That's the only thing I remember of it, but it was my favorite song. It was really great. Military brat, moved around a lot. So we moved to Colorado. When I was in Colorado, had really terrible time. We're not going to talk about that because it's not fucking funny, okay? But then we went to Japan, and then we came back to Colorado. And when we came back to Colorado, that's really when it kind of started. So I had a teacher, Mrs. Klotz. Her name was Mrs. Klotz. She was a German, but she loved to do all sorts of new musical. And she picked me out, and she said, "You would play the Artful Dodger." So I got to do a little song, "Consider Yourself." I don't know if you know that one. Consider yourself a mate. Anyway, had this kid who was playing Oliver, this little blonde kid with, bangs. First sign that there's a problem, right? Blonde kid with bangs, not a good thing in the 5th grade. And his name was Howard Johnson. So if you've ever been to a Howard Johnson's, he was a step below that. So it's a little pain in the ass. He would always tell me, my mother's drinking buddy / neighbor, her name was Mrs. Hooker. So I had Mrs. Hooker, Mrs. Klutz, and Howard Johnson, all part of this little story here. And so Howard Johnson would always tell me that they talk like this in London. In England, they talk like this. When I told Mrs. Hooker, she said, "Nah, that's not what they talk about. That's not what like they talk in London, the East Side. That's Ponzi hairdressers out there." So she told me how to do a Cockney accent. So I went in and did the Cockney accent. He would constantly be going, "No, that's not the way they do it." So I just waited. I did his little prissy English accent until opening night. And then I went up and I went, "Hey, mate, what's up there?" And the look on his face was worth way more than the price of admission, since it was free. But anyway, it was great. It was great shit. So then from there, and then she was really hip. I mean, I'm an old guy. I don't know if you've noticed, but I do have, a few gray hairs, so this was the early 70s. Yeah. And Jesus Christ Superstar had just come out. And she got Jesus Christ Superstar, and she had me sing Judas and Jesus in Everything's All Right with Mary Magdalene. Mary Magdalene was the hottest girl in the school. So I'm in the 6th grade, right? And I'm the weird guy. I was always the weird guy, But I'm singing Jesus Christ and Judas with the most beautiful girl in school. So I felt pretty cool about that. Then I went into junior high, and there was a whole new group of people. And of course, being the insecure person I was, I went right over to all the delinquents. I went to the bad kids. And in the bad kids, theater was not cool. Right? Theater was just, no, man, you don't do that. So I didn't. For 3 years, I didn't do any theater. I didn't do anything but hang around, smoke cigarettes. In middle school, yeah. Got started early. And, but then we moved again, and I went to high school. And there was, once again, a hot chick, okay? Hot woman, hot girl. I guess she was a girl. She was a young adult. Let's say that. And she was doing theater, so I was like, oh, I think I'll get back into that. So I got back into it, and from then on, it's just been solid. So from 9th grade until now, I have had nothing on my mind but this.
Beautiful.
This.
It's so beautiful.
So, so then I moved to San Francisco with another chick. She was an actress, too. And you know her.
I sure
You
do.
know her, yeah.
Put us
Yeah,
together.
that's right.
You're now in business because it is.
Anyway, she's now a comedian, and I won't say it. You can say it. Anyway, so moved out here with her, and that was just kind of a culture shock because Colorado Springs is nowhere near. I did have my first professional job was when I was 19. I did children's theater for two summers. So I played Henry Mouse and Brer Fox and Chortlemorph the clown and something else I can't remember because it was a shitty show. Anyway, so moved to San Francisco, started taking acting classes then. So this was 1982. So I took classes at the Gene Shelton Acting School, which is still around, but it was a really popular acting school at the time. So I took the classes there for 3 years, and after 3 years, they asked me to teach. So I started teaching then. So that was 1985. So I've been doing it for a while, taken a lot of classes, continued to take classes, even though I was teaching, because what I usually tell people is the only time you stop taking classes as an actor is when you're working so much you can't take classes. You've always got to keep it sharp. You always got to keep working. And besides which, it's fun. You know, it's just way too much fucking fun. So I started teaching there, did a bunch of shows, did a lot of plays. Then I moved over and started doing television when I was in the 90s. And then I got a job and had to take it because I had a daughter and I had to pay the rent. So I took a job, but it was actually a fun job. It was working. I was executive director for a public access TV station up in Berkeley. We had 2 channels, Channel 28, Channel 33. And so I did that for 20 years where I learned filmmaking, I learned editing, everything you got to know. I can do stagecraft, I've done set design, I've done light design. So I've got a lot of experience, always taking classes, taken all of that information that I got from all of those different classes, and then I kind of developed my own method. So I have another method of looking at scripts that I haven't had one person who's actually had a one-on-one with me for an hour and not come out going, oh my God, I've been doing this for X amount of years and that changed everything. So try it out.
Yeah.
That's all I'm asking. Just try it out. 3 hours for adults on December 8th from 7 to 10. And if you've got young adults, anybody 10 to 17, once we get below that, we got to play too many fucking games. So I'm not playing games. You know, I don't want to play games. I want to work on acting. So, so from 4:30 to 6:30, young adults, 7 to 10 adults. And with that, I think my time is just about up, so I'm going to give it back over to our fabulous host.
I love that. Why don't you fabulous host to bring up our fabulous regular here, the one and only Will Cable?
Will Cable. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we got a real treat for you here tonight. He came in early. He was here on time. And he brought a little lady with him, too. The little lady's here. All right, give it up for Will Cable.
Yes, I thought I was going to get out of the house away from the family, and it backfired. She followed me. Yes, we live in a 870 square foot condo. a real starter home, the kind you should only be in for 2 or 3 years. We've been in there 19 years now. And my son is 17. He is a overachiever, varsity athlete. Damn it, I flipped it. Straight varsity athlete, straight A student, such a disappointment. Oh my God, that kid. He's always was good at baseball. When he was 7, he hit the game-winning run in Little League. Afterwards, he said, "Dad, you have no idea what it's like to be as good as me." I said, "Son, that's not nice to point out in public. Keep pushing the car. We're almost to the gas station." Oh, man. Yeah, that kid, that overachieving son that I'm cramped up with in this 870 square foot condo. We'll have to get out. You got to get away. So the night of the date, he came home from baseball, plowed right by us, slammed his door to his room in our face. I went to talk to him. Nope, I can hear him in there, berating his friends on Xbox, flexing in the mirror, doing whatever a 17-year-old narcissist does. Yeah. Yeah. All narcissists who I let down on a daily basis. So she's like, "Don't even bother. He's not even going to know nor care that we're gone." So we get out and we go to a concert. And I figure, why not go and see the Dead and Company, the new Grateful Dead. Immediately we get out and there's the guy, the white guy with the dreadlocks. What do they call him, a wook or something? He comes skipping up to us. "Do you need shrooms, Molly, or ecstasy?" I go, "We're parents. Give us double the amount." I got not $50, $100, and I better feel good. Lo and behold, the guy was not lying. About an hour later, I felt really good. Walking along down Shakedown Street, you know, they got the little drum circle going on. You hear the didgeridoo in the background. Oh, hello. "Dad, I broke my nose at baseball." "No, you didn't. Not tonight." Click, right back in the pocket. No. My wife, though, the motherly type, said, "You go into the show." "Well, is that going to be any fun? I can't even see straight. Between the two of us, we can find the line." She says, "I'll go home and take care of him." And I'm like, "Honey, you're on the ground on a planet far, far away. You ain't going anywhere." No. His nose wasn't, I just seen him. And I didn't care. I just did not care. Oh, man. We have fun. Wait. How could I forget? I have another son. The artsy one. The left-handed one. The always naked one. I mean, hell, it's like a friggin' Dead show every night in that kid's mind. He, I'll hear that shower turn off, and then all of a sudden there'll be dampness next to me. I'll be on the couch, and there's the water hitting me, and he's standing there naked, soap running down, dry, unused towel thrown over his shoulder. "Hey, Dad, I had an idea." Now, I don't want to stop the creativity. So I say, "All right, let's see what's going on." It's like, "I'm going to make a nonstop flight from LAX to Bali. 17 hours and 34 minutes, 8,635 miles. And then he just turns around and walks out and gets a Diet Coke out of the fridge. Came back, said it's going to be a game changer. Now, there's a little trail of wetness that I inevitably am going to forget about and slip in. So I don't say anything, except for once. I ran into him in his room. We were both naked this time. I had rinsed the soap out of my hair and dried off. He came barreling around the corner, and I said, "Adam, you have got to rinse the soap out and dry off before you run around naked." And he said, "Dad, if you're making fried chicken, the best kind is double battered, like we serve on the flight from LAX to Bali." Oh, man. And I guess you might be thinking, why was I naked in his room? You would think seeing your old man flopping around bent over naked would stop you from taking his clothes. But no, I have to go in there again on a daily basis to try to get out clothes. I don't have any shirts. I don't have any shoes. I don't have any nothing. Yeah, the older one, the 6'3", he takes my clothes and her clothes. He came out in her sweater one day and goes, "Oh, Mom, this is cool. Thank you very much." Later on, we had date night. She's like, "Nicholas, can I borrow my sweater?" Where am I at? What time?
It's okay.
Did I hit 5?
Yeah. You gotta keep going.
Oh, all right. I'm trying to get around 5. I guess I got to look out for that. Oh, am I at 8?
You have to tell me that you wanted to.
I start having fun.
Exactly, so continue.
Oh, okay. Keep having fun.
Fun.
I'm having fun with Adam and Nicholas. It's like with Nicholas, it was a few years ago, the Dead Show incident. It's like he has that spidey sense. It's, wait, Mom and Dad, I might be having a good time. I got to put a stop to that. Oh, let me see. I think I'll lay on him. I have a broken nose. That'll get going. And, I guess Carol and I, we like to have a good time, but she really is a good mom. The most caring, understanding Charles Manson aficionado you will ever meet. I mean, she knows all about it, tells me about it. In August, once a year, I'll find myself on Cielo Drive, and I just start looking around, and I'm like, it's the anniversary, right? She's like, absolutely. Have you ever seen the people you see up on that road? They still go there. It's like they make the pilgrimage. I married one. Yeah. I guess, when you marry somebody that's so into ritualistic killings, it's not necessarily a good thing. But again, she's got this nice side to her, because she said to me one day in the kitchen, "Do you think if I was 18 and in Southern California, he would have recruited me?" And I said, "Absolutely. You would have been his favorite. You would have been on the floor with him." Oh, my God. Yeah. All right. Where am I at now? Whatever I want. Okay. Well, the thing I wanted to talk about, I have a new story about my dad. I don't told. He was a very cheap man from New Jersey. And that was a throwaway. Bernardsville. Bernardsville.
That's a lot of fucking money.
Now it is. I don't think. Well, what was it in 1940? Wasn't it all farms? Far Hills?
New Jersey was always farms.
Yeah, all right. That's a lot of money now, right? Well, apparently he wasn't from money. I don't even know how this story went. He used to hunt, and he shot a crow one day, and his dad said, "If you shoot it, you got to eat it." So he ate a crow at a young age. But being a very cheap man, we had a Volkswagen Squareback, which I don't know if you know, it's like a mini station wagon. And apparently when you live in Hawaii, everything rusts. And that's just the way it is. So it had one of those old pull-up antennas that we used to fall, and I knew you just put it up, put it back in there. But one day we were driving by this... the way they tell the story, it was a Portuguese guy's house that was putting on an unpermitted house. So of course, he had to strike up a conversation on how to get by without getting a permit. And he asked, "Your car's a little rusty there. I've got this Bondo you can use." And he gave him a tube, and it was the spray foam. And we went to stick the antenna in, and my dad thought, if a little's good, a lot's better. Well, we filled up, so much spray in there. We put it in. Well, apparently that spray stuff keeps expanding after you quit spraying it. So the next day we came out, and boy, that antenna was in there, but it had traveled up the side of the car. So on the inside, stalactites were coming down. But it was fixed. The antenna was in there, so we could not move the stalactites and whatnot because that might unset the antenna. And so we'd have to get in the car from that day forward and get in like this. And then the ceiling used to have that cloth in the back, and it fell down. And when he'd come in the driveway, he looked like a manta ray behind him because the car would bounce. Oh. All right, what else?
That's it.
That's it, yeah.
Once you get that.
All right.
Because that's great. We got 2 brats now. We got one of you.
Oh, yeah. No, definitely a Navy bread.
Really great. You know what I would have said also? I love the Spidey sauce. And stifle would be another one. I don't want to stifle creativity. I think it's fun.
Yes.
Crush it or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
You need to just do one thing. I mean, I know it's not a class, but we have a second. Make that character. You know why it was funny when he was talking about the battered chicken? Because the character changed within you.
Yes.
And you always change it. Just this one time you didn't. Did you feel it?
Yeah.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Yeah, because we get it because we saw it.
Yeah.
But do you think that Charles Manson would choose me?
Definitely. Oh my God. Yeah, you would be there together. You and Dennis Wilson.
Where do we find you?
You can find me at Will Cable, WILCABLK on everything.
And it's Cable. You know what? It's so funny that's spelled like that.
Mrs. Cable, if you're able, keep those elbows off the table, right?
Exactly, yes.
Oh my God, how funny. I was just looking for more stuff on him because right now the Menendez brothers are very hot.
Oh, I've watched all the Menendez brothers.
Listen,
No, last week.
did you see the movie
Yes.
where they show the full frontal noodle on the
Wait, did we see that one?
You got to see it, just came out. It's the movie, Monsters.
Monsters. Okay.
And they showed the young one, and like, he's definitely not Jewish. 'Cause- But you know something? I'm not going to be the scene stealer. Not when we have here in the house the comedy of the one and only Chris Wheeler. Let him hear you.
Put together for your host. How you guys doing tonight? I haven't been here for about 4 to 6 weeks. I think it's been about 4 to 6 weeks. I went to Europe. I went to London. I went to Brussels. Ask me how the trip was.
How was your trip?
Bloody awful. I'm going to start from the beginning, and then I'll get into some real comedy. Is that okay with you guys? This is kind of a la carte menu tonight. First of all, I apologize to Mr. Cable for running, but nature was calling me, and it was urgent. So I just wanted to apologize ahead of time. I don't think Charles Manson is going to be into me anytime soon. Before I get on to my trip, I have a little bit of a kind of a self-esteem issue at this point in time. I'm kind of surprised I'm still doing comedy. Because when I go out, they tell me I look like 3 celebrities. So by applause, tell me if I'm anywhere near to these celebrities. Okay, well, this is the game tonight. Okay, the first celebrity I get told I look like is Bruce Jenner. Anybody? This is exactly why I'm not getting any puss lately. The move to Caitlin is not yet going anywhere, but never know these days. The second one I get is Christopher Reeve in a wheelchair.
Oh my God.
A little bit. Christopher Reeve out of the wheelchair. Because one person was upset at a show I did in Belgium. They were upset with the wheelchair, so I took him out and they were all happy. The third one, I think you guys will get this, is Kato Kalin having sex with Bruce Jenner and William Dafoe comes out. A little bit from that. You see, that's why my life sucks so bad. So let me just tell you about the trip, because it's just fucking crazy what happened to me. A week before I was leaving, I got COVID. So I've got to cancel the trip and rearrange. I do that. I get 4 negative tests. I get on the airplane, American Airlines, directly to Heathrow, going up through Greenland. The pilot comes on and says it's going to be 2 hours of flat flying. Didn't say about the rest of the trip. We had 7 hours of turbulence, the like I've never seen. We had 2 injured people on the plane. You couldn't get up from your seat. I smelled, it was a drink, I think, called urine, three stories back. And nobody could get up. And after I'd been shaken up and down 1,000 feet, over here, someone hit their head. We had to have the ambulance when we arrived. The flight attendant comes to me and says, "Would you like a snack, beef, or chicken?" Let me think about that for a minute. I'm up in a fucking tubular cylinder, flying at 39,000 feet, flying all over the place for 7 hours of fucking turbulence. Oh, yeah, the first thing on my fucking mind is a nice banquet of beef and chicken. So I turned to her and I said, I'm a recycling kind of guy, can you tell? I'll tell you what, I'll have the beef and chicken, I'll regurgitate it, and you can move it to the person behind me. I did arrive in London. I spent a day in London. I went to Brussels. On the first day in Brussels, my phone was stolen, so now I have no iPhone. So the trip was kind of a little bit of a disaster. I did 3 shows in Brussels that went really well. I saw my family in London, which was great. London was great. I found out McDonald's at Paddington Station, if you know where that is, they ran out of ketchup. And there's no ketchup in the place. I couldn't believe it. I said, well, why don't you just go down the street to the mart and get some ketchup? Oh, no, not here. We got no ketchup today. What about a bit of mustard on that cheeseburger? Would that be all right? No, I want ketchup. I go to McDonald's, I want ketchup. That's what I want. How do you like the shoes? Anybody like the shoes? A little bit. I got these at Dick's. I love Dick's. Anyone like Dick's here? Now, when I go to Dick's, I have a plan. I know that no lesbian in their right mind, and we all love lesbians, right? Everybody applaud, you all like the lesbians. I know there's no lesbians in Dick's, so I go hunting for lesbians everywhere, all through the different files. I get some clothes, I keep looking for lesbians. The manager saw me looking for lesbians. He came, approached me, and says, are you Chris Wheeler? I go, yeah. The unknown comic that no one laughs at, that's appearing at the LA School of Comedy. That's me on Wednesday night at 7:15, because you're going to be late. That's me, that's me, that's me. That's me. How can I help you? We've got a problem. We've got no lesbian traffic coming in. Can you help us? And I thought for a second, yeah, maybe I should have had that beef and chicken and not regurgitated it. Okay, I'll tell you what, it's very simple. Put one word in front of Dick's Sporting Goods. Plastic Dick's Sporting Goods. All the lesbians will come. The lesbians will come. There'll be sales around the clock for the lesbians. Let's see what I've got a whole bunch of stuff to do today. Let's see. Trip to England. Oh, the girlfriend's gone. Anyone can play a violin for me? Can I get a violin, please? Thank you. The girlfriend's gone. It's a fucking disaster. You know, when the girlfriend goes or a relationship breaks up, sometimes the men have to look at themselves in the mirror and say, what was it? Was it me? Was it the shower curtain? The toilet seat was up too much? Was it my interest in World War II movies? Or maybe it was my penis. I know, it's a hard thing to think about, but I called her up. I said, look, please be honest. What happened? What was it all about? What was the reason you left to go to Idaho? It's not you. It's me. Now, when they say it's me, it's not you, it's me, it means it is you, okay? That's what it means. It means it is you. You're the responsibility. And I said, well, look, please tell me now, because I got to move on to my next girlfriend. How is the penis? Your penis is ample. Ample. Ample fucking penis. I looked it up in the dictionary. Ample means sufficient and adequate. I've got an adequate penis. Applaud if you want an ample penis. She wants an ample penis? That's her husband. I'm in real fucking trouble. Better check my fucking medical insurance. God's sakes. Anyway, I have an ample penis. That will be the rest of my life. I'll have that name, Chris Wheeler, on my grave with an ample penis. Anyway, she's gone. The sister, she's gone to take care of her mother in Idaho. The only problem is the sister called me last week to tell me, the mother's been dead for 5 years. Your girlfriend's gone to Bangkok. I said, Bangkok? Well, who's the lucky guy? No, Bangkok, Thailand. And then I thought about it. She can still Bangkok in Bangkok, right? She can still Bangkok in Bangkok, for sure. How much time do I have? Do I have a lot of time?
You have 2 minutes.
2 minutes? Okay, good. Yeah, so I want to do something interesting for you guys. You guys having a good time? Yeah. Okay. All right, I'll do one thing. Here we go. Before I went on the trip, before the COVID hit me, and the COVID is a motherfucker. I don't like to use bad language in here, but I need to at this point in time. The COVID is a motherfucker. I did go have a checkup. Anyone had a checkup? Anybody? Well, the doctor took a look at all my blood samples and said, Mr. Wheeler, you're in perfect health. People are going to have to listen to your damn fucking comedy for another 20 fucking years. But we need to send you to a radiologist. We want to look inside your body. We want to look inside, the inside of your body. So they sent me to the radiology in West LA, up the street here. I arrived early in the morning. They looked to me and they said, Mr. Wheeler, we've been expecting you. Please take off your clothes. I said, can I keep my underwear on? No, take it off. Unfortunately, I had to remove my favorite pink G-string, which is my favorite. My favorite, believe me, it's lost. We don't know where it is. I lay in the little MRI machine. I waited for the doctor. And the doctor came. His card is right here. It's a famous hospital. He's probably going to sue me. The last name, I'm going to spell it out, and then you guys can help me. I need a little bit of audience participation. The last name is S-U-K-O-V.
Suck off.
That's right. Let's get this straight. Pink G-string's gone. I'm naked in this MRI machine, and Suckoff is taking care of me. Now look, when Mr. and Mrs. Suckoff had baby Suckoff, they realized the baby was fucked from the beginning. Primary school, kindergarten, junior high, high school, they're fucked with Suckoff. So you gotta come up with a good first name. The family sat around the fire eating marshmallows, as Americans tend to do, and thought about it and deliberated for hours. Hours and hours. They didn't come up with John Suckoff. They didn't come up with Chris Suckoff. They didn't come up with Eric Suckoff. After much deliberation, yes, sir, they came up with Richard Suckoff. What's the nickname for Richard? Dick Suckoff. Dick Suckoff is looking over me. I'm naked. I've lost my favorite pink G-string. And what I think he should never have been a radiologist. He should have been an oral surgeon from the beginning. My name's Chris Wheeler. Thanks for listening to my ramblings. Put it together for the great host here. And I love this place. I've come back to school. It's back to school day for me today.
Where do we find you on social?
I'm on Chris Wheeler Voice on Instagram.
Oh, I didn't know that. Chris Wheeler, and the way you spell your Chris is,
C-H-R-I-S.
you gotta say it. You know how Americans are.
It's Chris, C-H-R-I-S, Wheeler Voice. God damn it. Get me a burger with cheese.
Well, let me just say one thing, if I may.
Well, thank you.
In England, you tend to make comparisons. No ketchup at McDonald's. Oh, my goodness. Listen, I got to get your info before I leave, because we got to bring the LA School of Comedy to Liverpool, at least. There's no comedy. And it's great comedy clubs.
Yeah, London's a little bit suffering too. I didn't do any. I did Brussels. Brussels had 4 shows a week, so I did all 4.
We'll talk about it, because it has to be. Everyone's afraid because they're going to get canceled.
Yeah, they never met a British Bruce Jenner before. It was extraordinary.
Your part of the world is so crazy, and they're so polite. They came after me thinking I robbed Boots.
Oh, nah.
Boots is a drugstore.
Yeah.
And it was 45 minutes later. And they were like, you have to come with me. Mama, please, just for a minute. And I was like, get the fuck off me. You know, I got real black on them. Right? When I say black, like, the fuck you touching? Because I had a fur coat on. You know, because I was thrown off a plane when I was going to Oregon once because I was wearing a fur coat. I didn't know it was a big deal.
Yeah.
But it was a big deal. I got thrown off. And my kids, I was like, I'm not leaving my kids here. And the stewardess says to me, and these supposed to be your kids. And they supposed to be sisters. Yeah, they are. And it's the same baby's father. Don't start no shit now. I know I have an Asian baby, and I don't know how. The one that said she's in the new play in Chester. How you say that?
Cheshire.
Cheshire. Gesundheit.
English people are the nicest. Hospitality up northern England, really amazing. London's a mess. London's a mess.
It's a mess because all those special people are playing backgammon. That's all I'm saying. Like they send their wives to work. Don't let your husband see that, okay? He'll be playing backgammon, talking about, I'm an army brat, like Aaron McIntyre, the two of us, and you got to do something like that for the military. You know, when we do these military shows, I got so much shit for all y'all. You're gonna hate me. Because it doesn't matter as long as you're performing, and you know that, because you're performing all over, but you have to always try to get on stage. And there's a gentleman here who's not going to be on stage, but he's going to do his own podcast, and he's helping us. And I'm going to give him a quick exercise, and we're going to give him the light at 3 minutes. Let's give it up for the comedy of the one and only Johnny B.
Johnny B! Yo!
So Johnny B's coming up here for a few minutes, and I'm so excited because he's going to have a podcast. Watch your step up here. Remember, you signed that you can't sue me.
What's up, y'all? All right, I'm gonna introduce myself. My first name is Jonathan, last name Baral, Beral. So my podcast is called The West Side Connection. So what it's all about is I want to podcast my jewelry store in Los Angeles, located on Broadway and 6 on 608 South Broadway. So what I specialize is the engagement rings for all you women, single women. Yes, you heard that right, single women. Need a nice diamond because they didn't know they say in gemology, diamond's a woman's best friend, of course. So, what I want to mention the following, like, what do I do and how does it work? So, anytime, like, whenever you want to look at a ring, you know, something nice, you know, and always I like to engage a sale. So, like, that's my theory. So, diamonds, they all have their own value depending on shape, size, color, clarity, and carry weight of the stone. So my favorite cut of stone happens to be the emerald cut. Nice elongated stone, it's beautiful, but beware of knockoffs. And I'm going to tell you guys why. One being, you know, in like the same geometry and math, you know, every size, every shape of the stone has to be equal, top to bottom, like a woman, you know, like a sexy ass woman. You're like, oh, look at me, I'm so pretty. Yeah, right, if you're pretty. I'm sorry. You have to be nice and pretty. Like, you know, the stone has to be nice and pretty up and down and side to side. So I recently, my first ever sale when it comes to an emerald cut diamond, I sold one at the age of 13. So we were in a small store. We're I would say from that door to like that curtain right there, like we're about a big size store. So this husband and wife come up to me and they're like, excuse me, sir, like, yes, how can I help you? I was like, I'm looking for an emerald cut diamond. It's like, how big are you looking for? It's like about a carat, anywhere between a carat to a carat and a half. I was like, all right. So I ended up going to one of my dear friends. It was on a Saturday, which lucky they're on a Hill Street across the other side. I'm like, okay, you know, Johnny, go get one and get your ass back right now. I was like, okay, fine. So I told my mom and dad, I was like, okay, I'll be back. Give me 2 minutes. So I came back within 2 minutes. I showed them this nice diamond. It was really beautiful. A carat 35 emerald cut, certified by the GIE. So if you don't know what the GIE is the Gemological Institute of America. G color, which is pretty good. VVS one. You're talking about the so-called monarch of clarity. That's like so clean. You can't even see a cockroach inside one of those freaking diamonds. You're like, and the kid be like, Mommy, look at that little cockroach inside that little diamond. Like, oh, shh, hush. That's not supposed to be there. Anywho, so we were able to make the sale, and I asked the husband, "Is like, excuse me, what kind of ring did you want?" It's like, okay, you know what? I want an 18 karat white gold solitaire. I'm like, okay, we can do that. So, excuse me. So when we made the deal, I asked the husband, "Come with me. We're gonna go get your ring." And I have connections. I have many connections with people on Hill Street, Broadway, as far as New York City. So West 46. Anywho, so we made that happen, and then the lady goes, "Ma'am, we have a surprise for you." She's like, "What's that?" So she turned around and she tells her the husband is on one knee. He's like, "Honey, will you marry me?" And she said this sound like, "Honey, are you serious? You want to marry me?" Like, listen, I'm the one who made that happen, all right?
Oh, good for you.
So I sell all kinds of engagement rings. So like any kind of engagement ring you want, top dollar, doesn't really matter. And I do carry, if you're on a budget, I carry lab-grown diamonds. Lab-grown diamonds are different compared to natural, and I'll tell you guys why. Price. So if you want to pay... Hold on. Don't be upset. It's for people that cannot afford to pay, you know, X amount of money, and I apologize, but the truth behind it is that if you do not want to spend, let's say, $5,000-$6,000 for an engagement, you can pay like probably a fraction of that, probably about 60 to 70% below what they normally would go for. Nowadays, you can get lucky if you get one. Anywho, nowadays, I get customers demanding, lab grown diamonds. 65% of the time I get customers for that. Natural diamonds probably at 10 to 20%, but that's fine. But I get all my engagement rings are fully set. Whenever I go to Las Vegas during the end of May, going to June, I go to the convention show in Las Vegas. I have tons of connections over there. I mean, for God's sakes, I don't know how many connections I have with so many people who live there from from Mumbai, India, from Brussels, Belgium, from New York City, from Houston. I'm like, oh God, here we go now, Mom. I told my mom one day we met people from, I'm gonna tell you right now, Houston, Texas, and I go, she's like, Johnny, you better shut up because you know you don't like the Longhorns. I know you don't like all those Midwest schools because so much bad blood. And I'm like, oh please, Johnny, don't say a word now. But they're great people. So I do, when I make a deal with anybody, especially like say for someone, example, like say Sunda buys in front of her husband, let's say a nice diamond tennis bracelet. When I make deals of a diamond tennis bracelet, things like that, you're getting your money's worth. You don't want to go to say Kay's Jewelers, Zales. Excuse me for saying this. If those guys, their markups 80% so high, you'd be like, I need to go to the piggy bank. I need to go drop off all the money for the college kids and all that. And next thing the kids be like, Dad, where the fuck is my money? Anywho, you guys get your money's worth from me. And I tell you how that works. Whenever I get merchandise, you're getting your best for your money. I don't want you guys to spend, beyond what I would tell you. You get your money's worth easily. So let's say Sunda and Mark, for example, buy an engagement ring or a wedding anniversary, they're getting their money's worth. Retail, they would go to say Beverly Hills, my hometown in Beverly Hills. They're gonna pay over $100 million, over $100,000, and Mark would be pissed. He'd be like, Sunda, didn't I tell you not to buy that fucking ring? Anywho.
Where can we find you, Johnny, on
social media? On social media, you can find me on Instagram at Master Brawl. Master means yours truly. I am a master. Certified GIA gemologist and certified diamond expert. And yes, and if you see my engagement rings, you'd be like, fuck yes, this guy has got it. Anywho, you find me on Instagram at Master Brawl, my last name. And then if you guys find me on Facebook, first name Jonathan, last name Brawl, you get a hold of me. If you have any questions, tell your friends about me. I'll take care of them. Don't even worry. You got it.
All right, Johnny. Now you gotta tell your mom to watch this so that she can help you invest into your podcast, because that's what we have to do.
Yeah, I invested in when I invested in gold. My mom be like, holy shit, son, how much of my money did you fucking spend? Yes, Mom, I spent your credit card for God's sakes.
I'm sure his mother didn't say anything like that.
I know my mom.
Let me tell you something. I am friends with everybody in my building that I've called the police on and had a fight with, including his mother. We've got along just fine, and we do, right? We get along fine. She told me I did a great job raising my kids. They're so polite to her, but they're not polite to me. All right, but that's okay. I want to just say one thing about Aaron's daughter, okay? He kind of flossed over this whole thing and glossed over the whole thing that he has this drop-dead gorgeous daughter, right? So he comes in class, and people think it's his girlfriend. Nobody wants to say anything. They're looking, whatever. He raises a prison guard. That's what he didn't say tonight, but that's me telling his act, because that's what I do all the time, when I impersonate his mother, because she likes a lot of butter. All right, guys, we've had some fun tonight, and I thank all of you for tuning in, and everyone here. Thank you so much, and thank you, Aaron, and of course, Johnny B. You guys have been a pleasure. Mr. Cable, Mr. Wheeler, good night.